Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is SAFIRA RAMADHANI, and today I will explain about modals auxiliary. Modal auxiliary verbs are used to modify the meanings of the main verb by expressing abilities, possibilities, permissions, obligations, or requests. They are always followed by the base form of the main verb and don't change form. Example of modal verbs are can, could, may, might, must, ought to, will, would, shall, and should. Okay, the generic structure of sentence with modal auxiliary verbs is as follows. Subjects, modal verb, base form of main verb, and complement. For example, she can swim. They must leave early. You should try harder. Okay, in the use of modal verbs must be followed by basic verbs such as read, write, sing, walk, and run. Okay, next is the function of modal auxiliary verbs. Okay, the first is can. Can is used to express someone's ability to doing something. Okay, ability or proficiency. For example, I can speak 3 languages. My mom can make rendang. Next, can to state a possibility. Can also be used to indicate something that might happen or could happen. Okay, for example, accidents can happen anytime. We can go to Jogja in February because we have a week off. Okay, in the point C, permissions. Can is used to ask for a give permission in informal tone. Okay, for example, can I leave the meeting early? You can use my phone if you want. Can we go home right now? Okay, the second is called past ability. Called to express past ability. Could is used to express past ability. Okay, for example, she could swim when she was a child. Next, could to express a possibility. For example, you could get lost if you're not careful. Okay, next, could is often used for more polite requests. For example, could you help me with this project? Okay, next, could can also be used to ask for permissions, but this is a more polite or formal way to ask if we are allowed to do something. Okay, for example, could I sit here? Another bench is full. Okay, next, could is used to give advice or recommendation, yeah. Suggestions. For example, you could cook dinner at home instead of eating out. Okay, could can be used to express a small possibility of happening, but does not always indicate small possibility. For example, they could be at the cinema right now. Next, the third is may. Permissions. May is used to ask for or give permissions in a more formal form. For example, you may start this exam now. May I visit grandfather this Saturday? Okay, permissions and give permissions. In this context, may is used both to ask for permissions and to give permissions. Yeah, for example, may I take a look at your notes? Yes, you may take a look and make copies of if you want. Okay. Possibility. May is used to express possibilities in the present or future. For example, it may rain tomorrow. She may come to my house after lunch. Okay, hope. May is used in the form of hope or prayer, especially in formal sentence. For example, may you succeed in your exam. My God bless you. Prohibition. For example, you may not leave the classroom without permissions. Okay, the fourth is might. Low possibility. Might is used to state a lower or less certain possibility than may. We might go to the beach this weekend. They might cancel the event due to bad weather. Okay. Might also can be used to give more polite or suggestions. For example, you might want to consider other options. You might need to rest after that long trip. A might can be used for formal permissions. Might I borrow your pen for a moment? Might we leave the meeting early? Must. Obligations. Must is used to express a very strong obligations, usually derived from a certain rule, law, or authority. Students must submit their homework by Friday. You must wear a helmet while riding a motorcycle. Okay, must is also used to express important or essential need. Necessity. You must bring your ID card to enter the building. Okay, must is used to state conclusion or dedication based on strong evidence, often used in English to conclude something that is very likely based on strong evidence. For example, you must be tired after working all day. The lights are off. They must have gone to bed. Okay, next, prohibition. Must not is used to state a prohibition or something that is not allowed. You must not smoke in this building. Okay. The sixth is ought to. Advice or recommendations. You ought to apologize for being late. He ought to be more careful with his words. Expectations. She ought to arrive by now. The results ought to be ready by tomorrow. Suggestions near obligations. You ought to apologize for your mistakes. You ought not to speak to your parents like that. Okay. The seventh is will. Future predictions or possibility. Will is used to express predictions about the futures or upcoming events. For example, I will call you tomorrow. They will arrive next week. Okay, next, willingness. Will is also used to express willingness or intention to do something. I will help you with your homework. Next, fact. Fact is used when will indicate something that is always true in a certain context. For example, water will boil, sugar will dissolve. Yeah. And next, I will always be there for you. I will pay you back tomorrow. I promise. Yeah, promise. The eighth is would. Okay, would is used for polite requests or offers. For example, would you like a cup of coffee? And then would is used for hypothetical situations. For example, I would go to the party if I were invited. And next, invitation. Would you like to join us for dinner? Next slide. Shall. A formal offers and over are occasions in interrogative sentence. For example, shall we go for a walk? Shall I open the window? And then future intentions atau niat masa depan ya. I shall return before noon. We shall meet again. Yang ke-10 itu ada should, obligations, advance, and suggestions. We should pay our debt, obligations. You should save some money for emergency, advance. We should try that new restaurant for dinner, suggestions. Expectations atau harapan. The package should arrive tomorrow. She should be home by now. Oke, selanjutnya, law possibility. You should have received the email by now. Okay. Well, that was an example of the material on the function of modal auxiliary verbs. Okay, here are the modal auxiliary verbs practice questions. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.